Hello, friends in Western Digital Tech Support. So I finished writing up a little report. I say, Dear Western Digital Tech Support, this is to report that I have found that in my case, as a general rule for best practices, my user share name should not exceed 16 characters. If I want to set permissions by importing a text file with the read, write, read only, and access denied directives, I have here a link to the video showing what I mean. Here's the video on my YouTube channel, so I click on it and it takes me there and it shows me what I mean. And there I am. And let's see, I show that I use a spreadsheet and I grab the table and put it into the text file, and then I show that when I'm loading it in the dashboard, I have the users and the passwords, and this triangle over here, it shows me what directives I want for that user. It shows you the username, the shares, the access to those shares. The quota is 500 gigabytes, and so on. Now I discovered, let's see if I can show you. I discovered that I had names that were longer than 16 characters. And what happened is when I let's see, info. When I go to info, that's the one I want access to the shares that had long names. Let's see if I can find it. I just passed it. Oh, I'm so slow there. There it is. That user p info, if I go down to the bottom, this is the correct output. I want all these shares that begin with Z to have read write permission. So that means it's working. But I want to replicate what causes it to not work. And so I go to the spreadsheet. So what I can do is go back to giving it a name. See, right now it's working with this name, but originally it had that name. So what I can do is it fails with this original name, and it fails with that one, and it fails with that one. So I want to show you that this name has 14 characters. I can count them off by going like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This name is got 16 characters, so it will pass. But this name, by adding 3 more characters from 14 to 17, it will fail. So what I'm going to do is look for this name in the spreadsheet that has all the usernames and everything. So I use Control H to search and replace. So I'm going to search for that name of a user and a share, and I'm going to replace it with a name that is 3 characters bigger. So I go to find next. It's right there. So I replace it. And it goes to the next one. It's right there. So I replace it. So that's done. So I've replaced it with a name that I discovered that will fail. I want to replicate what happens when it fails. So I copied the table and go to the file, select all, and paste. And so this file is exactly like the one that passed, except that right here it is. The name of the, in this case, that's a user. The user, I increased the characters by 3. 1, 2, 3. That's why now it's called blah 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 1, 2, 3. And it's also found under P info as a read write. So there it is, 1, 2, 3. There's the 1, 2, 3. I've increased the size from 14 to 17. I've discovered that it fails on 17 or above. So I'm gonna save it as well. I did that yesterday, so now I'm gonna change the name to today, and I'm going to add fails. That's the name of that file, because I'm gonna make it fail. How is it gonna make it fail? By, okay, I saved it. By going over here into my dashboard, in users, going down here, okay, right there. Oh, what I will do is, let's make sure. What did I do? I changed this name, the one that ends in staff, to staff 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to, before running that file, I'm going to go to staff and change the name of it to staff 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I apply. Let's see, username, SPF. Oh. And the first character must be a limit. Oh, look, there is a limit. Oh, so it won't let me. Oh, what about here? Shares. Staff. Let's see if it'll let me change the name of the share. Okay. Oh, so I may get away with okay. It wouldn't allow the name change. Well, I can delete this user. I can delete all these because I really don't want them to be considered users. That's the way I have it in the other NAS. I actually created these manually as shares, not as users. So they don't appear as users. So, see, I'm looking at users, but when I go to shares, they do appear. See, there's the Z's. There's 4 of them, and the one I just renamed, I added 1, 2, 3. So it does allow me to change that. Oh, and also when I go to users, there I'm in users, and I go to P info. Let's see if P info shows what I'm talking about. Yeah, look, there it is. The user, the share that I changed the name, it did accept the name change, and it's set for, guess what? Read write. See, the one on the far left is read write, the one in the middle is read only, and the one on the far right is deny access. Like this one is denied access. So if I recall correctly, by running that file that's going to fail, it will move this setting for the share that has a name that's too long. It will set it like that. But I'll leave it like this. That's the way I want it. But now I'm going to run. I'm in users, right? I'm going to run add multiple users. Okay, so I go to import users. Next, then I go overwrite. I always want to do that. Then I select the one that's going to fail. That one fails. This one passed yesterday. The difference between this one and that one is that this one is set to fail. There it is. Because I increased the name. Oh. Before I do that. Maybe I should. I wonder if it'll fail because of that name. Yeah, I think it'll fail because of that. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, so that's the one that's gonna fail. So when I load it, here's where it fails because the username exceeded 16 characters. There it is. It exceeded 16 characters. So when I apply, let's see what happens. Oh shit. So I don't have a case. Okay, so it worked. It ran through, but now we have to check what happened. So what happened to let's see. Did it cause any problems? Oh, the user with that name gets deleted. See, it's gone. That's one thing that happens. What else happens? Now if I go to P info, the share should still be there. So I go down to share. Oh, the share didn't get changed. It's still that. So it only deleted the user, but the share, it stayed the same. Okay. But what if I delete this? That's the user with the longer than normal name. So I delete it. Let's go back. Okay. So I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna call it fails with user 123 deleted. The user that's the Z hyphen EWI staff. I think that the user by that name got deleted. I deleted. So now there's only 3 Z's. So I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to go back up and load it right here. And I pick it up here. There it is. And then I go next, and it's loading. Let's go down and see if I get an X. No, there's no X because it's not there anymore. I deleted it. There, everything's fine, but I want to see if what happens to the share. Oh, maybe it still works. Okay, so I go down here. Let's see. I go to select info. Then I go down here. Oh, nothing happened. It stayed the same. So it didn't cause any issues. Everything seemed to work okay, right? The others are okay, right? Yeah. Looks like everything's fine. Oh, there's that one. That one's there because I didn't put a directive to change it. Because by default, they're denied access. But if I want to switch them over to the other 2 positions, I have to say so in the file, in this file that I imported. And the only user that got access to both of them, to all of the Z files, was pinfo. See, I said that I want pinfo to have access to all of them. So I don't have a case, much of a case. At least I learned that when I do add the file, if the file, like this one, it really won't fail. It's just that a warning will show up. and it'll say that it'll have an X, and that means that it's too long. It should be 16 characters, but this one is 17, so it gets an X. And nothing bad happens except that this file gets deleted. This user gets deleted. But it doesn't delete the shares of the same name. The share by the same name stays there, as we saw before. See, down here, there's the share by the same name. It didn't get deleted. So, let's see if I can summarize. So, I submitted to Western Digital Tech Support saying that, hey, look what I found. I should not submit a user with a name bigger than 16 characters. And they already knew that because there is a message right here. When I go to users, when I go to users and I select, oh, it's not available. When I add a user, add user, yeah. Let's see, add user. When I add a user whose name is, like, say this, copy. When I go to add a user of that name, see, oh, it doesn't let me, look, it doesn't even let me write more than 16 characters. So there's no way for me to create or even edit a user to have more than 16 characters. I tried to manually edit and it didn't let me. I don't think. Oh, maybe I did. I was able to manually see. I could go like this. Paste. I could go like this. Oh, maybe I need a password. Dummy password. Dummy password. Okay. Copy. Oh, it doesn't let me copy. Well, let's put a password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Will it let me 1 2 3 4 5 6? Let's see if it lets me. Oh no. Password must have at least 8 characters. Let's see. A B. Capital A, lowercase b, in case. Okay, not now. So let's see, it let me create this one. I just created this one. Now I want to rename it 1 2 3. Look what it happens. Username must be an alphanumeric value from 1 to 16 characters, and the first character must be a letter. Okay, so it doesn't let me go over 16 characters. Because when I apply, Hmm. It won't let me create it, so I have to leave it as. Hmm. Hmm. Somehow I created that user. Wow. Oh, it won't let me edit it. Then how did I create it? Somehow. Okay, that's why I I I that explains something, because when I ran the file say a week ago or maybe more, I noticed that, hey, how come these users didn't show up? Those two users, the ones that start with the letter Z, two of them had more than 16 characters. One had 19 and the other one had 17. And so they weren't showing up. I said, what happened? Hmm. But that's weird. Oh, and you know what? In the other NAS, I was able to create those users. No, I didn't create those users. I created shares. So I was on this side. I was on this side, and I was able to create the shares this way. I was able to create it. See there, I got that long one. I can create a share of let's see, share for, that's the name, share 2 3, oh shit, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 characters. I can create it. So I created that user with 20 characters, and there it is. But I'm gonna delete it. But that proves that there's no the operating system is not forcing me to limit the size. So that explains what I was doing in before in the other NAS. So I got two NASs. So in the other NAS I created the shares manually, and I created them without thinking about the size, because on the shares profile I can add and create shares. I can set up shares, and it wasn't preventing me from creating shares with very long names. But then I went to use an import file, and I used those same long names, but I was using them as users, those names that I had created previously as shares in the NAS number 1. I call it N1. I had created them manually as shares, but then when I went to do the same thing in the other NAS N2, which is supposed to be a a duplicate of n1. n1 should equal to n2. So, but I tried to see if I could do it instead of manually, to do it using an import file, and it failed. It did 99% of it did it correctly, except that it failed on the users that were written down, that were named like the shares in the first NAS. In the second NAS, I used the share names for the usernames, and the username does have a limit of 16 characters, but I put two users, with one with 19 characters and the other one with 17 characters, and that's what they came up with, an X. And then when I ran it, it didn't even create them, it skipped them. So that's what I saw. So I think I resolved this case, and I understand what I was doing wrong, and something to be aware of. So I don't really have a case that needs to be solved. I solved it myself, you could say. Thanks, Western Digital. Sorry for the I don't know, the non-case. Sorry for wasting your time, but I hope it helps somebody out there. Well, it helped me.